Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I want to apologize for the previous videos that I've been uploading. For some reason my audio just kept going out. I redid the first two videos, but it kept giving me issues. I'm using a different microphone now, so hopefully this will make it better. I want to thank all my subscribers, and all my new and existing subscribers. Thank you guys so much for sharing, liking, and commenting on my videos. I appreciate all of you guys, and I truly appreciate the feedback as well. For those of you who private message me again, a big shout out to you guys. You guys are just amazing. Thank you guys for the support. Now let's get into this reading, and this is going to be for Cancers for the month of March 2017. Let's see what the cards have to say. Also, I want to wish you guys a happy St. Patty's Day. For those of you guys who celebrate, for those of you who just want to turn up, you just like drinking, do you? So let's move forward with this reading. What are the messages for Cancers for the month of March 2017? What are the messages? What are the messages? Okay, this is going to be my last shuffle. Here we go. And as you can see, the first card popped out already. Wow, okay. So right at the heart of the matter, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant speaks about old ways in reference to either religion or any type of education moving forward. And because it is at the heart of the matter, perhaps you are either contemplating or thinking, or in fact have become more religious. I do see the Hierophant as the religious type of energy versus the High Priestess. It's more of a spiritual, metaphysical type of card. This speaks of old values or something that was self-conditioned at a very young age. Usually tends to be with religion, more specifically. So perhaps you're becoming a little bit more religious. Perhaps you are more devoted to your practice, whatever it may be. But also it's speaking about wanting or desiring that which is that which would constitute whatever it is, that whether it's a marriage, whether it's a union, whether it's whatever that has to do with some type of relationship, contemplating if you should take that step or if you should take that route or if you should continue living away from this, which would be away from whatever it is that your family believes or what you believe, what your partner believes. This is a constitutionalized type of energy versus, again, like I said, the High Priestess or whatnot. Basically, you're giving thought or you're analyzing. This can also be a representation of going back to school. Perhaps you're thinking of going back to school, but more so, I'm getting the energy of that, of wanting to make a choice or decision, but perhaps making that decision or that choice has a lot to do with what you think is right versus what your heart tells you is right, if that makes any sense. So moving forward, the challenge for the month of March, you have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is, it is coming up as a challenge. So basically for the month of March, your challenge is going to be not to be naive, not to be very quick on making decisions, because obviously in the past they have not worked out for you. So again, don't jump very quickly into decision makings. Do not act very precipitously, if that makes sense to you. And the reason behind, or the reasoning behind that, again, has to do with lessons that you've learned. The Nine of Wands usually speaks about battles you've gone through, difficulties, just situations like one after the other. You've been bruised, you've been battled. But again, it is coming up as a challenge, so it is a warning. Learn from your mistakes. Do not continue to make the same mistakes. Now, the card that is on a subconscious level, which you're not aware of, you have the five. I said the wife. Okay, so for some, it can also be a representation of taking on or desiring or having that hope or that desire within your heart to actually want the foundation of those who are surrounding you. So perhaps it can be also, I know cancers are very homey. They're very, they're usually the mother archetype, I guess you can say, when it comes to the suits. And again, talking about the Hierophant, perhaps, and this is specifically for those of you who are single, perhaps those of you that are single are contemplating whether marriage is something you really want. Perhaps throughout your life you thought that wasn't for you, or you just haven't had luck in that area, but now it's like you're kind of thinking about it. Again, just remember, with the Nine of Wands, it's definitely a warning. Do not oversee the red flags like in the beginning, because you've already been through this, is what I'm being told. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, perhaps there's some type of issue going on, whether it can be either your partner, if you're a male or female. I'm speaking more so with the females. If you're a female and you're starting to make more money, or you're the one that's kind of providing more for the family at the present time, understand and know that it takes two people to make something work. And what I mean by that is, do not go over over succeeding, or over, not over succeeding, but do not allow them to slack off. Whether it's a male or female, doesn't matter. This is a general reading. Do not allow them to slack off. Understand that if you stick for this reading, precisely for this reading, do not do that which is not considered normal, because the heart of the issue is, stick to your old beliefs. Stick to whatever it is that you consider is a marriage, or that what you consider is a constitution when it comes to relationships. And this is speaking specifically about relationships. So again, stick to what you know and learn from those mistakes. Now, again, going back to the Five of Cups, the Five of Cups to this tarot, it's speaking about illusion. Five is always a battle type of card, and it can be a battle within yourself, or a battle from other people, but specifically we're talking about the Five of Cups because it is a cup suit. So that's definitely talking about emotional battle or turmoil. Again, putting a face to the public, or putting a face to society, when in reality you're either going through difficulties emotionally, or you're a little bit unstable at the present time. And this is on a subconscious level, which you're not aware of. So if you've been having trouble sleeping, or if you've been having issues with, like, oh my God, why do I wake up one day feeling great, the next day I just don't want to get out of bed, what it is you are basically going through emotional turmoil at this present time. Understand that, know that, and acknowledge. The moment you acknowledge that, you empower yourself, and you are capable and understanding and mature enough to say, or to understand and accept, the fact that, hey, I'm not emotionally stable at this present time. Going back to the Hierophant, if you're thinking of a union, or some type of marriage contract or something like that, definitely be mindful and be aware that you're not at the right emotional front to be making those type of decisions. Okay, now again, for those of you who are married and are in a monogamous relationship, with the Five of Cups, one or the other is not understanding each other. So again, do not agree just so you don't argue. If it's something you're very passionate about, or if it's something you truly believe in, stand up and speak your mind. You don't necessarily have to, argue over a disagreement, but just understand and make your voice heard. Let her or let him know where you're coming from, how you're feeling in reference to the situation. And again, stand your ground when it's needed. Okay. Now that of the past and passing, you have the Lover's card, and the Lover's card, obviously talks about a relationship, but more than relationship, the Lover's card to me, I mean, I don't see any other card that would, excuse me, that would suggest a monogamous type of relationship. So I'm not that this is speaking purely on a for those of you who are single at the present time. This is in the past and passing. So perhaps you're the type of person that goes more on the physical, or what you're capable of gaining from that partner, or what you're willing to get from them. And this is a past behavior. Again, with the Hierophant at the present, you have to go more to the core values of that person in order to understand and see if it is actually long lasting or not. Again, there was a decision that you had to make. You were at crossroads at some point in the past and passing, because it is in the past and passing position. So again, just make sure that that choice you made, or that decision, was not rash, was not quick or hasty, and also that wasn't a mistake that you've done, or an action that you've done in the past that has turned out to be a mistake. Okay. Now the energy that's crowning you, you have the World. And again, if we go back to the Hierophant, Hierophant speaks to me a lot about marriage, and this is the crowning position. So for those of you who are single and you're dating either a person that is married, or maybe separated but is not legally divorced, just understand and know, again, like I said, there comes a point in time where sometimes I don't see fruitful things coming from a person that is tied. But I do see with the Five of Chalice underneath, again, it's like they're either holding that phase of them being married, either because they don't have the money to actually file for divorce, or because there's some type of emotional connection with them, with him or with her, to their partner, whether it's a she or a he. And again, with the World card crowning your energy, and the Hierophant right below it, that's speaking to me about you wanting a relationship that's going to last, or that is going to go eventually into marriage or conventional marriage. Okay. Don't fool yourself. Okay. Now you have the Ten of Cups in the near future position, and this talks about happiness and fulfillment, but also being mindful. And again, with the World right next to it, this is definitely talking about, if your intentions are to get married, then definitely don't distort that. Understand what marriage really is, and what marriage really is the union of one and two becoming one, and kind of falling into place where you kind of mold each other and help each other to grow. And again, it is very necessary for you to find emotional balance. Now, for those of you who are married or in a monogamous relationship, again, with the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups, there's definitely marriage. For those of you who are not married, and for those of you who are married, perhaps anniversaries coming up where there's going to be some type of celebration, and it's a celebration of love or a celebration of union. Also, to mention, very rarely do I attach the World and the Ten to pregnancy, but you do have the Lovers and the Hierophant, so the possibilities of pregnancy are very high for the month of March. Now, the card that's symbolizing you, or the advice, is basically you have the what is this? The Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is definitely be mindful about what you do or what you say or how you act, because whatever you do will come back to you. So if you're talking about a person, just be mindful that you're not quick judging them, or that you're not speaking ill about them, because they will definitely find out and it will definitely come back to them. Also, whatever you do good, make sure that you're doing it genuinely out of the kindness of your heart, because it will be it will be returned to you tenfold, and you will come to see that the more blessings you put out, the more blessings you receive in return. Now, the card that's symbolizing those surrounding you is the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups speaks a lot about emotional, but this is an emotional card in reference to the illusion and seen through that rose glass. And what I mean by that is, do not have, going back to the Lover's card, do not be foolish to think, love is happily ever after, because that's just you hoping or wishing. And the truth is that the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Cups talks a lot about making a choice and having a few choices to make. Now, having those choices to make, going back to the Lover's card, again, this is also the card of illusions, or delusions, as some of us tarotists would say. So just make sure that the person you're picking, or the person you're deciding to venture on a serious monogamous type of relationship, make sure you're not seeing the illusion of that person, but more so getting to actually know one another and making the rational decision of whether you should pull forward or whether it's time to just back up and, cut your losses, basically. Now, I don't see any breakups, but for those of you specifically who are single, again, make sure not to fall into deception or fall into illusions, or allowing your mind to run crazy with all these ideas and illusions, again, because if you don't see things for what they truly are and see them as they're truly unfolding and happening, you will be caught off guard, and there are news that will come to you that you were not expecting. Okay, so just be worried about that. Now, with the card of your hopes and fears, you have the Nine of Swords. So perhaps at this present time, you're feeling a little bit more of optimism, a little bit more of happiness or even abundance coming in. But again, this is your hopes and fears, and the hopes and fears always mirror one another. So just make sure not to catch yourself or not to put yourself in a situation where you literally feel like you're bounded, or you literally feel like there's no way out, literally like in prison. Just make sure that you make the right decisions. And this is a more mental card than a physical card. I don't see anything that would imply about a bad outcome. Now, your final card is the Justice card. So perhaps this has something to do also with something that has to do with the court. Whether it's a case that you're fighting, or whether it's someone suing you, or whether it's you having the fear of the outcome. But ultimately, the answer to that would be, if you've done good, you should not worry, because you will be balanced out. You will be like justice will prevail for you. Now, for those of you who have been playing a little bit dirty, or even doing things you shouldn't have done, just be careful with that, because when I see the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice card, it's definitely talking about karma. But more than karma, what it's talking about is karma coming around very quickly. So just be mindful about that and understand that, okay? And that's pretty much it. Cancers, I hope this helps you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this month of March. Many blessings to all of you guys, and we will be hearing from each other soon.